Welcome everyone. We are going to be playing another chapter of Mamiya, so without further ado, let's get into it. And then I had this idea. What if we put a letter in Natsume's grave, then dig it up and open it like a time capsule 10 years later? Um, it's a bit of a scary thought. Not exactly scary, that's grave robbing. It's scary because why is that the first thing you thought of? Scary is not the right word for it. Future us will read about how we felt about him. Doesn't that sound great? Well, it's an interesting, fantastical, and wonderful idea. But it might get you arrested for grave digging and vandalizing the dead. Oh. They're still not here, huh? Yeah. 10 minutes earlier. Alright. Fixed my tie and went on my way to the church. My strong, determined manner of walking and furrowed eyebrows were only a means of dispersing my worries. Just think about what we'd have to talk about made me weak in the knees. If I failed this, they would be faced with a violent death. Again. There was absolutely no room for mistakes. This tension alone is making my stomach hurt. And that was still nothing compared to everything else I had on my plate. Why on earth did I claim to be Natsume? I got greedy. There's no other way to put it. I should have just thought of a fake name. Why did I even take a risk by using my real one? Face flushed red with shame and embarrassment. Why did I do it? I hadn't done anything this greedy back when I was still alive. My cheeks were all warm, but my stomach's cold and lonely. Some combination, huh? I ended up having to lean on the walls to make it all the way to the church. It was exactly 1700 hours on a Friday. I watched the second hand reach the top, then open the heavy door. Ah, Natsume, hello! A youthful voice resounded through the church. It came from the tall young man known as Suo Kaito. He stood up and greeted me with nothing but politeness. Huh? Where were the others? I looked around, but saw only him. Where's everyone else? Oh no, I just arrived myself. Maybe they're running late. Let's wait a bit. I sat down next to him and watched at the time as we waited for the other three to arrive. Half an hour had already passed, yet no one turned up. My conversation with Suo Kaido was going in circles too. His impatience had grown so much that he even started counting the empty seats in the church. Maybe they forgot to come. My complaints got a miserable "oh no" out of Suo. But if they're intentionally staying away, we don't even know how to get in touch with them. Should we hold another funeral for Natsume? Don't say things like that. The situation both saddened and hurt me. I'd asked them all to come mourn Natsume, yet the only one who showed up was Suo Kaido. Then again, I should have expected this. They'd already been to the funeral, and it wasn't like they knew me all that well. It really drove home the point just how weak and friendless I was. Wallowing in self-pity. I sounded a brief chuckle, which was when my eyes finally met Suo's. He looked somewhat perplexed. Well, since he was here, that The least I could do was honor his wishes to the best of my abilities. So, what now? Do we call it a day, or start the discussion with just the two of us? Suokai looked into the distance and may have pronounced, Since we took the time to come here, I would at least like to discuss what's best for Natsume. It'd be nice to do it with more people around, no? I see. I nearly went ahead and thanked him, but managed to hold back. Are you free after this, Suo? Or do you maybe need to be home by a certain time? Oh, no, I'm free for the day. Let's go then. I stood up and looked down at Suo, which seemed to have puzzled him. I didn't have any means of contacting them, but I did know their stories. Let's go find them. We'll start with the school. Kikuchi Ryo and Tojo Minato attended the same school. We might be able to find them here. Since you're familiar with all that, I'm assuming you also went to that school? I did, yeah. I looked up at the school building. I'd been attending this place until just a few days ago, but now it actually seemed kind of nostalgic. Let's head inside. Natsume, that's the student entrance. Huh? Oh, right. The guest entrance leading into the all-too-familiar school building looked so distant that it made me feel almost like a hopeless romantic who had been cast aside by the object of his affection. What business do you have here? The aged employee behind the glass was another familiar face. I briefly hesitated to answer, but a quick glance at Suo Kaito gave me a flash of inspiration. We came to look at the school. Suo, me and my little brother, is considering enrolling here. Good thing it was December. Plenty of people would check out schools around this time of year in preparation for the coming entrance exams. I could tell that Suo was looking at me, but I kept my composed expression and went along with my lie. I realized it might be rude of us to barge in like this uninvited, but since we happen to be passing by... Give me a moment. I'll ask the school's administration. Thank you. The aged employee stood up and disappeared further in. Suo Kaito was about to say something, but before he could, the man returned with a familiar smile on his face. You're allowed to look around. Please hang these cards around your necks. Thank you. I made a smile that said, "Thanks for everything. We might never meet again." The man reacted to it with a puzzled expression. Yeah, I mean, if you could pick up those words from that smile... Also dinosaur time. I think that, yeah, you'd probably be pretty confused too. But I go to a school that covers both middle and high. So Kaito pouted. Hey, it's fine. We got in, didn't we? Oh, and you, as my older brother? Seriously? Just play along. The tall young man flashed an uncharacteristically mischievous grin, making me feel a little embarrassed. We're here. Kikuchi Ryo and Tojiro Minato go to this class. And so did I. I timidly opened the door and saw only a handful of students inside, their figures bathed in the evening sun. Sorry, may I ask something? Huh? What is it? They initially gave us suspicious looks, but eased up once they spied the cards on our chests. I knew these people. They belonged to Tojiro Minato's group of friends. If I remember right, friend is like a stretch. We're looking for Tojiro Minato. What's your business with him? Like true modern children, they didn't open up to strangers very easily. That's not really a bad thing. My brother here is thinking about taking the entrance exams for the school, and Tojiro is one of the ones who recommended it to him. So we figured we'd drop by and say hi. Oh, Tojiro left right after classes ended. Yeah, he's got a part-time job. I see. What about Kikuchi Ryo? My question sent a wave of confusion across the room. Kikuchi? We don't know. I see. Thank you. Right, I shouldn't have said that. Rushed out of the classroom, hoping that would magically erase my blunder. I had to hurry before Suo Kaito realized something. How did it go? They already left. Let's go somewhere else. Oh, okay. Well, I prefer to stay a little longer, honestly. You don't usually get the chance to walk around someone else's school, you know? Let's drop by some other time then. I tapped him on the back and we both went back the way we came. I threw one final glance into the classroom, realizing the seat that belonged to Natsume was now gone for good. They probably had their part-time jobs. I knew from the stories that Kikuchiro worked at a donut shop, but... damn. I have no idea where Dojiro Minato works. Why do you say their full name every single time? I don't know. Might have been a good idea to ask his friends, but since we had already left the school, it would have seemed odd to suddenly show back up. Thought back to all the stories I'd read in hopes I'd remember some kind of hint, but I was drawing a total blank. I do know where he lives, though. You do? How? So I was visibly shocked when he heard me mumble to myself. Oh, well, I just kind of... no. I tried to laugh it off, but he kept on staring at me with a look of profound confusion. Natsume, could it be that you're actually... I was really hoping you wouldn't label me as a criminal. That was honestly the last thing I wanted him to see me as. A private detective? Huh? You look so much like one. It's gotta be the trench coat, you know? Oh. Huh? Did I get it wrong? No, I'm just ashamed to all. Detectives should be able to blend in without getting found out this easily. I made a troubled smile. Suo was positively beaming from ear to ear. But it's so obvious. I guess it is. I have to use that from now on. After some walking, we arrived at the donut shop where Kikuchi worked. Unless he was picking up his little sister Midori, or out shopping, he would be here. I opened the door, hoping to find him inside. Welcome. And there he was, in the flesh. He stood behind the register, eyes sharp as usual. Kikuchi Ryo. My voice is killing. Hang on. Alright, that should be good. Kikuchi Ryo. So glad we found you. Right. As I rushed in front of him, Ryo simply kept nodding with his eyes wide open with shock. Oh. I'm impressed you knew where I was. Seeing my face seemed to have jolted his memory. I was glad he remembered me. I haven't forgotten about our arrangement, but found out just last night that I'd have to handle today's shift as well. And I had no way of letting you know, so, really sorry. He made a deep bow. It's fine. Don't worry about it. I was planning to drop by the church after my shift, even if I ended up running late. I found myself moved by his sincerity. He did actually intend to keep his promise. Wow, these donuts look crazy good. Anyone in particular you'd recommend? Suo must have been hungry, and understandably so. It was getting kinda late. His eyes glittered with joy as he surveyed the lineup of colorful, gem-like donuts on display. Absolutely. Our strawberry ring donut comes highly recommended. Kikuchi Ryo raised his voice and puffed out his chest. Both rare actions from him, However... I see. Oh, I'll have one of these whipped cream donuts. Why did you ask? He asked for recommendations and then went, "Ooh, actually, I'm gonna get that one." Alright. His passion didn't seem to reach Suo. Tojiro Minato also failed to show up to the meeting, so we're actually looking for him too. Tojiro? If he's not at school, he should be at his part-time job. And do you know where that is? No, I don't. Really? But I thought you two got along. Well, Kikuchiru placed a hand on his forehead, seemingly thinking about something. I used to know where he worked, but then he suddenly switched jobs. I mean, you could try looking up his previous workplace, but I doubt you'll find him there. I wouldn't count on it, at any rate. He's kind of fickle, like that. I see. In that case, we were probably better off moving Morichika Haruki up the priority list and starting with him instead. I nodded in understanding. Thank you, Kikuchi-ryo. We'll come back once we're done. Sure. Alright, next up is Morichika Haruki. He's not a student, is he? Do you know where he works? Probably nowhere. Nowhere? You mean he's an adult without a job? But we already have 2 working students. True. Why doesn't he work? Why? It's a good question, actually. My heart ached for Suo's purity in regards to people like Morichika. Albeit in his own way, Morichika too was difficult to get a hold of. We first went to the pachinko parlor he frequented. Natsume. Suo Kaido. The noise here was far worse than I had expected. I eventually got used to it and decided to start looking for Morichika Haruki, but... minors aren't allowed in here. Huh? So Kaido was stopped by an employee. But I'm an adult. Look, I'm even taller than you. But you're wearing a school uniform. He's got you there. Is that your default look? Wait here, Suo. I'll be quick. I heard inside the parlor, leaving a deeply shocked Suo at the entrance. Looked through the entire place, but found no trace of Morichika anywhere. I had no choice but to ask around. Grinning to myself at how detective-like this would be, I approached the closest person. Excuse me, I'm looking for a person by the name Morichika Haruki. I spoke politely and with a smile. But that only got me a glare. He didn't seem to be in a talkative mood. I went away and racked my head over the situation. Approaching several people here made me realize something. People that gambled at these gambling places were generally of a fluctuating mood. They'd be more open to talking if the gambling was going well, enough to lift their spirits. Excuse me, I'm looking for a person named Morichika Haruki. You a cop? Did the son of a gun finally get busted for doing something crazy? No, I'm just a friend. Going by his reaction, he seemed to know. Hoping to learn more, I repeated my question. I don't know. People here don't get involved with each other. Though I do recall him saying something about Shinguku. The vagueness of his answer came as a shock, so much so that I ended up just leaving. Any luck finding him? Outside I found Suo Kaido, waiting for me. He reminded of a large dog who had been left outside the supermarket. Okay. No, he wasn't there. I see. Wait, do you happen to know Morichika's address? I mean, you said you need dojo, so... I don't, and besides, he's the kind of person who's always on the move. Finding him won't be easy. Aww. Both our shoulders dropped in disappointment. I really wish I'd gotten a hold of their numbers or something. It might not have been necessary. It might not have been necessary for the other two, but Marichika Haruhi was undoubtedly the kind of person who could only ever be contacted through a cell phone. How am I even supposed to find a number of a guy like that? Wait a second. I'm not screaming. I know it! I do actually know his number. Huh? Really? Yeah, cell phone. I frantically sifted through my pockets. Realization suddenly hit me like a runaway train. I gave it to Mina. You did what? Damn. I don't have it memorized either. No matter how hard I tried to remember it, I couldn't go behind 080. Spy didn't even belong to Natsume, so the phone I'd given away was technically no longer mine. What now? Just when we found a way to contact Marichika, I ran into yet another roadblock. My own past actions made me feel positively mortified. So why not just meet the person you gave it to? Huh? You said it in such a nonchalant manner, it nearly made me choke on my spit. Meet Mina? As in, right now? Did I hear you right? Yeah, it would solve all our problems. Let's just do it. Meeting Mina. Again. I need some time to prepare. Are you serious? We can't keep Rio waiting. Oh, you're right, let's go. After a bit of pep talk from Suo Kaido, he promptly headed off to Akibara. Are you sure this person will be here? Absolutely. She's got a Friday shift, so unless something urgent came up, she should be here. I opened a good amount of doors today, but none of them made my heart keep on jackhammering in my chest the way this one did. Welcome back, Master. Is Mina around? Yes. Oh, her previous master is just about to leave, so I'll go ahead and show you to your seats. So Kaido was blinking in confusion, but I walked in like it was nothing. This place is amazing. There's so many servants. This is just a maid cafe. The waitresses are dressed as maids because it's their theme. Wow, his drinks sure are expensive. And why does a small rice omelette cost 1,500 yen? Suo Kaito. I whispered a scream at him. He didn't understand that this was a special rice omelette imbued with maid magic for a modest extra fee. You could even take photos. The added value far exceeded anything you'd find at a usual cafe. Sorry for the wait. The frills at the edge of my vision made me look up. Welcome back, Master. Thank you for choosing me. My name is Mina. The lovely smile that bloomed on Mina's face would have put even the most exquisite flowers to shame. Wow, nice to meet you. I'm Suo. The pleasure is mine, Master Suo. And who might this gentleman be? I feel like I'm fumbling over words as much as he is, and I'm not even the one that's sitting next to him assuming they're idle. Couldn't breathe. It hurt, but I had to talk. A single second of her time could be wasted. Natsume. I'm Natsume. It's a pleasure to meet you, Master Natsume. Her expression wavered. Was it because she remembered the Natsume that had passed away? May I take your order? We would like to have a word with you. We'll have 2 special rice omelets and 2 milky strawberry drinks, please. Natsume, what about the number? Certainly. Please wait right here. Mina's long black hair swayed behind her as she walked away. She's so cute. I followed her with my gaze, with an enamored expression. until someone went and shook my shoulders. That's May. Remember why you're here. Right. Morishige Haruki's number. I know. I got this. Exactly. We can't keep Rio waiting. Wouldn't his phone have all of their numbers? Yes, of course. Kept on nodding while trying to pull myself together. Sorry for the wait. Here's your rice omelet. Yay! Aww. Let me cast a spell on it. Here I go. Moe, stop. There you go. Please enjoy. I will. Natsume. This was bad. Just seeing Mia was enough to make me forget why I'd come here in the first place. It definitely wasn't to improve my relationship with Mina. I had to prevent my friends from dying. Made a stern expression and looked at Mina again. Mina, we actually came here because we have something important to ask you. Oh, and what would that be? Mina's twin tails gently fluttered as she tilted her head to the side. It was entirely too much for my heart to handle. Hang in there, Natsume. Deep breaths. Okay, I'm fine. I put my jumbled thoughts in order, then got straight to the point. I believe you have Natsume's phone. Suddenly, the very air around her changed. How do you know about that, Master? He asked me to come get it. I see. So it was true, she whispered, with her tiny, delicate lips before raising her head. I suspected that when you came, so I went and got it before bringing out your meals. She reached into her apron pocket and took out a black object. I heard Suyokato let out an excited wow next to me. May I borrow it? Sure, here you go. Either we really look like a detective or like a private investigator, or we did not pick a good person to hide the phone with. Also, why did we hide the phone with her? Can we get that explanation? Like, we didn't get that information. We got like, oh yeah, we have given the phone to her. We don't have a why. Why did we give her the phone? Took the phone from her and looked at Morishige Haruki's entry. Found it right away. It's a number he'd given me a few years ago. Pressed the call button. There's no guarantee he'd pick up, but I had to try. Doing this made me grimace. This was probably how Morishige Haruki himself must have felt back then. Hello? Morishige Haruki. Huh? A dude? Who are you? Natsume, the one who waited for you at the church. Oh. Where are you now? Why would I tell you? Because you promised. I waited for you. Thought I'd never see you again. There's silence on the other end of the line. I was just walking around. Should I go to church now or what? Wait, no. Come to a certain donut shop. I'll send you the location. What a pain. Clicked his tongue and ended the call. Sent him an email, but got no response. Would he really come? I managed to contact him. Thank you, Mina. Gave the cell phone back. Mina looked at me as if she wanted to say something, but instead settled for a curt I see, and held on to the phone like it meant a lot to her. In any case, do enjoy your food. She then disappeared further into the cafe. Natsume, this went great. We ate our rice omelets and exchanged a smile. It might have grown a little cold, but its magic filled our hearts with warmth all the same. Surely even Suyokato would understand that. Now we just have to find Tojo Minato. Should we go where he lives? I'll bring some anpan and milk. I think we should visit Kikuchi Rio at the donut shop first. Seeing how the shop was on the way, I promptly nodded to myself, then finished up the rest of the rice omelet and washed it down with a syrupy sweet milk strawberry drink. We're back, Gucci. Everyone's here. Huh? He pointed a finger behind him at Morichika Haruki and Tojo Minato. Tojo Minato. Gosh, I'm so sorry. The whole thing completely slipped my mind, but then I kinda just remembered it out of the blue. I asked Rio, and he said we were gathering here, so I hurried over. I was pleasantly surprised by his unexpected appearance. Morichika, you decided to come too? Let's just get this over with, okay? Gave him a warm smile, but he hastily averted his gaze, seemingly annoyed by it. It had gotten quite late, but still, getting to see them all in one place warmed my heart to the core. Shall we begin then? I made a solemn nod as I looked over the 4 people gathered here. Let's think. About what to put in Natsume's coffin. Long story short, today's discussion didn't go anywhere. There were suggestions, of course, like Natsume's favorite food, trinkets, and hobby items. There wasn't a single thing that all 4 of them could unanimously agree upon. The meeting thus came to a close on a rather sour note, after which we all went our separate ways. What do you want? Let me guess. It's about interfering. You want to know the downsides, don't you? Oh, I've already interfered, actually. Silence. Are you a dumbass? Wow, I've no idea someone could be that rash. Or what, did you only hear what you wanted to hear? No, I thought long and hard. Is what I like to say, but my mind was made up before I even considered it. No amount of thinking would have ultimately changed my decision to interfere. I had to find a way to make them happy, even if only a little bit. Good grief. Well, whatever. What's done is done. Just be careful around the librarians. You wouldn't believe how quick they change their behavior. I mean, we got to see that change in song form last time, so I think I have a guess. But right. So, what do you think about interference? I was happy to get to talk to them again. It took some time to process the day's events. Everything happened at such a hectic pace that I never actually had any time to sort through my feelings. It was only now that it occurred to me that the day I had just experienced was filled with things that my old self, the Natsume that died, could never have experienced. My resolve has only grown deeper. Any specific changes? Yes, when I came back, there was a puddle of blood on the floor. Anything else? Well, it also mildly disorienting to no longer have my original body. How do you even... Oh, right. Not only did you keep your old memories, but you actually got assigned your own world, to boot. I don't envy you, pal. I feel like him interfering is kind of expected at that point. Could have, like, given him a different case. You know, just, like, traded his assignment and the whole thing would have been solved. I can only hope I get used to it eventually. So... why exactly are you so attached to them? Huh? I mean, I get that y'all were best buds in life, but they're nobodies to you now. They're nobodies to you now, so what gives? I still have your memories, but now I belong here, to the heavens. It's messed you up a bit. You momentarily wouldn't care this much. You normally wouldn't care this much about a bunch of lower realm folks. We've only known for a couple of years. What drives you? I... Well, I was really happy to be born. I remember all the times before Natsume Sochiro's death, back when I was still enjoying life. Even the River of Oblivion made me forget the immediate events leading up to my death. The memories I shared with them were still with me. Am I gonna learn that Natsume died to Mamiya? Like, are we one of Mamiya's victims, and because we died to Mamiya, it spread to the people that we knew? And that's why we appear to have a Mamiya that's like, oh, you're here. Why are you here, you know? Before dying, I had a different disposition than I do as a spectator. It's hard to explain, but the world back then seemed so wonderful and brimming with life. Felt like everything I'd ever touched was handcrafted by someone. The idea that nature had spent so much time creating all this filled me with an immense amount of gratitude. Every person I met was a miracle, and I did genuinely cherish them with all my heart and soul. Including, of course, Kikuchi Ryo, Tojiro Minato, Morishika Haruki, and Suo Kaito. Those four were special. I was drawn to them almost instinctively. I had no specific reason, but even trying to come up with one would have been rude, I think. I guess you could call it fate. They've been on my mind all this time. Even back when I was still alive. We may not be overly involved with each other, but the fact remains that I did cherish them. So I want them to be happy. That's the only thing I truly want. I have no other desire. A moment passed in silence before he finally whispered back to me. I wonder if you'd have turned out this way if you remembered your final moments. The main fact behind becoming a spectator is to reach enlightenment. Nirvana, if you will. Huh? Make no mistake, you've been chosen as a spectator precisely because you've reached Nirvana. What? Retain your memories. You're appointed to the story you were in. And now you're interfering with that very same story. You're a real anomaly. But don't worry about the certainty of your own existence. Natsume Sochiro definitely existed. Excuse me? Hey, relax. I'm sure things will go well for you. Where were you, if you don't mind me asking? Oh, I just need to take a walk for a change of pace. A walk? Should be acceptable. I must, however, remind you to stay away from the darkness. The scent of sin might seep into you. Oh, yes, I can smell it quite clearly. This isn't the scent of paper. Really? Seeing how intimidated I was, the woman's lips curled into a smile. Us librarians boast a keen sense of smell. We're always surrounded by books, you see. So, any other smell we pick up tends to stand out. What we librarians do is merely fix books. You would do well not to forget that. The meaning behind those words sent a chill down my spine. Once she had left, I breathed a heavy sigh. My heart was still going like a locomotive. Good thing she didn't pry any further. It made me think back to that mysterious voice behind the door. What? Was he confined in there? What was he confined in there for? Actually, never mind. I've no time to start worrying about others right now. All I need to think about is setting their story on the right course. It was my personal quest, my holy mission, in a way. Is this really alright, though? The reason I'm here is to save my friends from Mamiya. Or am I constantly biting my tongue for nothing? Although I have my hands full of just mediating between them, and I could focus on their individual stories, for a while I might have to focus on just one. No, I have no such time. I should rush into the conclusion as quickly as I can. At the edge of the road, all alone, I put my hand on my jaw, lost myself in thought. Oblivious would be hurry up. I won't take any detours. I'll press ahead. With that in mind, I tried to return to the world above then. Don't play around too much, Natsume. A silhouette appeared at the edge of my vision, making all my hair stand up. Oh, hello, Mamiya. Why does our Mamiya look like, Minato? What reason is this? Did they just really like his character design and go, he doesn't get used that much. We should just, copy it over here. I have a feeling Minato is the reason we died or something. Or the reason our Mamiya looks like someone that we know is related to that everyone is special, and specifically drawn to that group of people thing that we mentioned. Because if we're, actually, I need to backtrack for another thing. If we're the faceless masses, and we just kind of take someone out of there, someone with no story or anything, but this is who we are, there is no way we stole some faceless person's body. This is someone with a story, and I don't know what it is, but I have a feeling that it's ours now. This is not the... is my mouse? This is not what someone who has no real story looks like. I'm getting off topic. I got off topic twice in a row. That is not a new record. But maybe the reason that he looks like Minato is because if we're specifically connected to that group of people and we find them special, maybe the reason that our Mamiya looks like someone that we know is because that's how we are convinced. That's how we would be convinced to take the turn to dying to Mamiya. Mamiya, why are you here? Who knows? What do you think? Regardless, you're too late. I've found a what-if where I can save them from you. Your existence doesn't scare me anymore. What's so funny? Nothing. I'm just surprised you're still saying stuff like that. I know a word that describes you perfectly. The man brought his face close and stuck out his tongue. Dullard. Are these British words? I feel like a lot of the words that are said, either I just don't recognize them, or the way that things are phrased sometimes. Is the creator British? Is this British English? Is that why I'm reading some of these sentences and I'm wait, that's not how that doesn't make sense that way. I don't know, half of what I say probably doesn't make sense how I say it, so who am I to judge? I instinctively pushed him away and made some distance between us. What? Who are you calling a dullard? Well, Who else is there, dear spectator? You little... His aim was precisely to disturb me, to only be playing into his hands by succumbing to anger. I had to observe this Mamiya for a while longer. The child wearing a rabbit mask, the gas mask conductor, the girl in the nurse uniform, the invisible man. Okay, so that's what the last one is. Not what I would have expected, but okay. I guess that's better than nothing. His human form was unlike any of I'd seen in their stories. If Mamiya and Mamiya are the same, then... Are you the Mamiya that the people from the cafe spoke of? Name yourself. If you have a name like Natsume Sochiro, then go ahead and say it. You're not Natsume Sochiro anymore, though, are you? But if you're that desperate for a name, I guess Mamiya Yumehisa should do. Mamiya Yumehisa? Well, you may call me whatever you want, nameless spectator. I'm Natsume. I'm not a nameless spectator. I'm Natsume to the bone. Oh, you're still actually calling yourself that? Did all the interfering give you some kind of weird confidence in that? In any case, I'm Mamiya. If you claim to be Natsume, then call me Mamiya. So, what changed after your meeting with those four? Was there a point to all that effort you put in? No. It was all worthless. A complete waste of effort. You were biting your tongue for nothing. Go on, then. Say my name. Mamiya. Good job. Huh? Can't believe it ended there. Again. I wiped the blood pouring from my mouth, and for the first time in ages, filled my lungs with fresh air that tasted like books. I had to stay calm and take deep breaths. Mamiya Yumehisa tried to flare me up, but I'd grown quite a bit. Albeit, little by little, the story has been altered. Maybe don't say that out loud. The book attendant could be anywhere, and I'm assuming this area is quiet enough that she can hear you from a long distance. So, maybe keep that in your head. By seeing a different ending, I expanded the amount of possible what-if scenarios. I can't let myself take his words seriously. Everything's headed in a good direction. Clenched my fist as though confirming it. Up until now, I could do nothing but watch, dumbfounded as the drama below unfolded. But I wasn't just a part of the audience. I was a spectator. I could focus on one character. By doing that, I should be able to steer the story in that person's direction. That would prove especially useful in the story of the four people from the cafe. Four characters, the story became a bit less scattered. However, just like how you underlined important parts of text, focusing on a single person gives me a deeper understanding. This was a huge step forward for me. It allowed me to use my new powers as a spectator to draw closer to the truth. Alright, I'll get on it right away. The moment I muttered that, I felt a certain discomfort in my left arm. What? My hand is itchy. Urged by that peculiar sensation, I ended up taking off my glove. My hand, which had been protected by a glove all this time, suddenly had countless cuts on it. Huh? What is this? Checked my other hand too and found it's similarly covered in reddish lines. Where did I get these wounds? Always had my gloves on. To my palm and saw a red line appear out of nowhere, making it look like I was being cut by something invisible. Huh? It began at the tip of my middle finger and went down to my wrist. I could feel it. I could feel the lines forming under my clothes, my elbows, my upper arms, my armpits. I was still utterly befuddled by what had just occurred. Suddenly felt a sharp pain, the kind you get from a paper cut, flare across my entire right arm. I needed to be careful not to dirty the books. My palms, as well as my hands, were bleeding without end. Back to the librarian while I was trying to stop the bleeding. Miss Librarian? Oh, what's the matter, Nuts? My arms are... What, your arms? Huh? What is this red liquid? Is this what they call blood? It took you this long to realize? Blood, so this is... blood. With a complexion as white as marble, the librarian looked intently at my injured arm. Do you have something I could use to stop the bleeding? Yes. We have to stop the bleeding. Fortunately, there are no first aid kits around. These types of wounds never occur here, you see. Great. Not to worry, though. There's a hospital some distance away. I'll go there and get one. Thank you, and, I'm sorry. Oh, do not concern yourself with it. In any case, just wait a moment. I'll be back shortly. She grabbed her coat and bag before running off like the wind. That was blood. So red. Left alone, looked up at the clad ceiling. Surrounded by black books, this place was like the bottom of the sea. I looked at the spines and saw faint numbers on them. Some were familiar, while others looked more like complex hieroglyphs. There wasn't a single story here that I was in charge of. Their lives were utterly remarkable when compared to the whole of mankind. Even so, through blood and sweat, they did their best to live their lives. And I had to make sure that their feelings were rewarded. After all, only I could save them. She mentioned a hospital. I wonder how far it really is. Are there really people outside this facility in personal rooms? There's only one building here, though. Man, I really am clueless, huh? I made a self-deprecating smile while looking in the direction the librarian had disappeared to. Couldn't even touch any books until she returned. Greetings to you. Hello. Felt my shoulders tremble. This was the first time anyone other than the librarian had addressed me. She wore the exact same uniform as her. In other words, there were other librarians and spectators around. And the one behind the door. Has he ever worked here? Apologies for the wait. I brought some bandages, gauze, and antiseptic. You have no idea how much I appreciate this. I would like you to sit down and show me your arm. Are you sure about this? Absolutely. I've learned how to treat a bleeding wound. Tis told and presented my arm to her, after which she sat down next to me. This might sting a little. I can handle it. I must say, though, it's the strangest thing. The strangest things seem to happen to you. Normally, spectators never suffer injuries of any kind. The sense of astonishment in her tone was clear as day. Really? The world's people spectate are, of course, another matter entirely. But when it comes to this place, there's nothing here that can hurt us. There might be some other cause. The way she touched me made it seem like she'd already figured out everything I'd been doing. Her closed eyes made it difficult to read her thoughts. I felt cold sweat gather on me. You're clearly not a bore. What? People like you truly are a rarity. You got hurt, yet you remain fixated on a single story. What is our Lord thinking? I would prefer it if I didn't have to deal with uncertain variables. You are precarious. She muttered that while putting the bandages on me. You're a bit like that person. Miss Librarian? There, all done. She pulled her hands away, leaving my arms covered in bandages. Wow, thank you so much. Don't mention it, but please make sure it doesn't happen again. In any case, I'll be returning to my post. She had vanished behind the bookshelves before I could say anything in response. That person. Hey, you. What's with all the sighing in front of my door? So, do you know what you meant by that person? Huh? Never mind, forget I ever asked. Is there some kind of problem in the story again? No, it's got nothing to do with you. Am I imagining things, or are you treating me kind of differently this time? I feel like it's Mamiya behind the door. Or a version of Mamiya. By the way, why are you even why are you even here in the first place? Gonna ignore that, eh? Well, whatever. So, what do you mean by here? Well, you know, the dark place behind the door. It's almost like you're locked away. Aren't you a spectator like me? There's a brief silence. What makes you think that? The advice you gave me in response to what I said about the story is far too precise. Didn't sound like mere conjecture. I sort of assumed you were talking from experience. Now I'm not sure if I've been talking too much, or if you've just become more perceptive. As your senior in this, I'm hoping it's the latter. He chuckled in that cheerful tone of his. The librarian told me not to approach this place. I can't imagine you as someone who'd be sinful in any way. Oh, but I am. This place may be separate from the flesh, but it doesn't just make the sins etched onto one's soul go away. I'm a problem child, and a joker who broke the rules for fun. His tone beyond the door had become somewhat self-deriding. Felt like he was using big words to avoid talking about a certain something. Could you tell me more? About your time as a spectator, I mean. Well, it's not much of a grand adventure, I assure you. I was young back then, and as people kept praising my abilities, I turned complacent. So I came to believe I could use my powers to save a whole story, or at least a character. And this is the result. I'm locked up thanks to my hubris. Could almost see him shut behind the door. I was, however, still maintaining a serious expression. His story was too much like mine. I'm not like you. He said that as if he'd read my mind. Yours is a rare and tragic case of someone retaining his memories of his time spent below. Hell, that's why you wanted to save your friends in the first place. And, you know, that's all well and good. My case, on the other hand, is quite different. I saw hundreds of stories and countless characters, but I ended up feeling sympathy for only one. This person didn't even take up too many pages of the story. Stone was filled with a deep affection. It sounded positively heartrending. Do you regret what you did? Do you regret breaking the rules and being caught for trying to save someone? No. His tone turned gentle. Well, my circumstances don't really have anything to do with yours, so might as well forget about it. I can't just do that. I've learned many important things from you, and this is a story you hold dearly. It was an honor to hear it. You sure are a stick in the mud. I know I can't begin to understand your story, or the pain you experienced. Even so, I think it was right for you to act based on your own sense of justice. Please don't let it get to you. Why did I seem down to you? Yes, a bit. I said it wrong. Oh, man, you're a pain to talk to. I know I've just told you all this stuff, but I'm actually about to be released. Apparently the higher-ups are still fond of me. Or I guess they just need more manpower. For a while I'll be constantly observed and given a whole bunch of work, but it's par for the course, really. Does that mean you... Yeah. Just might get to see your face, newbie. Go produce some results before that happens, why don't you? I will. Whoa. This went on for too long. She warned you, didn't she? Won't be a second time. Go back. Okay. See you next time. He might actually be released. He seemed genuinely humane, and was someone I respected. And he sacrificed everything for the sake of love. The fact that he would soon be freed made me happy, like it was happening to me. Bandages beneath my leather gloves, the sound of his bashful voice. I smiled, feeling as though the world was moving in a wonderful direction. Alright, I'm gonna do my best. Thank you for watching. If you liked it, make sure to stick around, join the Discord, all that. If you didn't, you have more patience than I do. Either way, goodbye.